Well, in the last hour, President Trump has tweeted an update on the North Korean disarmament talks. He says there have been many good conversations, adding, "Were it not for me, we would now be at war with North Korea." Well, US Secretary of State Michael Pompeo is due to return to Pyongyang on Thursday for more talks on dismantling the country's nuclear program. It is his first visit since the summit in Singapore between President Trump and Kim Jong-un 3 weeks ago. US intelligence reports leaked yesterday cast doubt on the North Korea's commitment to full nuclear disarmament. CNN's Will Ripley joins me now from Beijing with more details on all of this. Well, a few developments to get across, but interesting to note after this summit took place 3 weeks ago, the US president was saying we can all sleep easy now. The nuclear threat is gone. It sounds like that is far from reality.
Well, if you listen to what United States intelligence is saying, including the National Defense Intelligence Agency, which tells CNN that they believe Kim Jong-un has no intention to denuclearize, at least not anytime soon. And that intelligence report, which was compiled after analyzing satellite data, electronic intercepts, and on-the-ground intelligence, is now being circulated amongst all U.S. intelligence agencies. And if they all come to an agreement, then that would essentially be a complete intelligence assessment formally presented to the Trump administration and President Trump himself. But President Trump has been skeptical of the U.S. intelligence community in the past, including their work on the Russia investigation. And given the tone of the president's tweet, it is unclear whether he would accept what the intelligence community is telling him, that they believe North Korea may be secretly enriching uranium and plutonium, may have nuclear and missile facilities that are undeclared, maybe even preparing to try to deceive the United States and not reveal the full extent of their nuclear weapons program, including the number of warheads and the location of their facilities and whatnot. But nonetheless, the president is optimistic, saying it's only the opposition party, including the fake news media, complaining. And so that does give you a sense that at least inside the Trump administration, there is still great optimism. And you heard the National Security Advisor John Bolton, who really has traditionally been a longtime North Korea hawk, saying that they believe in the administration that full denuclearization could happen in a time frame of 12 months if the North Koreans are prepared when Secretary Pompeo visits Pyongyang on Thursday to provide a full inventory of their nuclear weapons program and a timetable for when denuclearization will take place. So obviously there's a lot at stake. These talks, arguably, there's even more at stake now than there was in Singapore when President Trump and Kim Jong-un got together. That meeting, by all accounts, went very well. The two leaders developed a warm relationship. President Trump said he trusted Kim Jong-un, but now all of that is going to be put to the test later this week, Lynda.
Yeah, and speaking of that meeting later this week, Will, this will be Mike Pompeo's third trip to North Korea. What does he need to do to ensure that this is a success?
Well, look, I've had many meetings over the years with the North Koreans, and I can tell you that trust is very slowly built and easily torn down. And so this is going to be the continuation of the trust building, of the relationship building that we know has been improving with each interaction. I mean, Secretary Pompeo, if you look at the picture of his first meeting with Kim Jong-un, where they were kind of stone-faced, then the second meeting in Pyongyang, they were smiling, they were joking with each other, they were very friendly when they saw each other in Singapore. You know, we'll see how the North Korean state media covers Secretary Pompeo's visit. He's been getting a lot of favorable press inside the country. But it's going to come down to the Americans telling the North Koreans what they expect, and then the North Koreans responding with what they're willing to do and the time frame with which they're willing to do it. Secretary Pompeo has traditionally stayed at the Koryo Hotel. It's a hotel that we normally stay at when we travel to the country. It's a 5-star hotel in the middle of the city. He'll be driven to a separate location for his meetings with the North Korean leader. There'll likely be large banquets, lots of celebration over the historic summit. I think the North Koreans have called this a historic turning point, a new opportunity. But the question is going to remain, they need to get down to substance. And Secretary Pompeo needs to leave Pyongyang with a substantive set of steps that have been agreed upon that the North Koreans are going to take. And we know that after he leaves Pyongyang on Saturday, he'll be flying to Tokyo, where he'll be meeting with his Japanese and South Korean counterparts. And then later he'll be going to the NATO summit in Brussels when he'll brief President Trump. And Lynda, the big question that we don't know, will there be a Trump-Kim summit round 2 in September in New York, like Axios is reporting? That would certainly be something if they can come away with a date for that.
Yeah, that would be incredible. We will see if we see some substance coming out of these latest talks. Will Ripley, good to have you with us. Thanks so much. Well, the world celebrated when rescuers found the missing Thai football team and their coach, but there are still major fears for the group. We'll tell you more about that next. Plus, a big compromise for Angela Merkel. Germany's leader has managed to salvage her government with a compromise, but receives an ultimatum from US President Donald Trump.